Hey YouTube, this video is for a 2012 BMW X3. Essentially, what was going on was my wife was driving it, and it started to like shake, stutter, and she was getting error codes on here, something to do with like engine misfire, something like that. And so she brought it to a auto mechanic place, and they checked it with a not a multimeter, a you know OBD meter. And incidentally, this is mine, and it's a Zurich. Try and focus so you can see ZR13. See if I can show you anything else. That's about it on it. Bought this at Harbor Freight, and as you guys all know, not every single one of these works for every single car. This one pretty much does most of the cars, and it does do a BMW. So she had brought it to a mechanic. They used one of these. I don't know if it was the same one, and basically said there was nothing wrong with it. Surprise, surprise. So this was before she even told me about it. And then when I got home, she told me about it, and so I, drove it. And it didn't happen all the time, but every once in a while, you just give it gas, and the whole car would start to shake, whatever. So I could tell there was definitely something wrong. Um, so fortunately, I already had this that I was using on my vehicle. I have a Nissan Pathfinder 2007, and I just plugged it in. Basically, it just plugs in right here. It says OBD right on it, so you pull that off. It's just a little plastic cover, and I ran the test. I can actually show you now if you want. It's not that big a deal. So in case you don't have one, I guess I'll just go through it with you. So bear with me a second. Sorry about that. So basically, here's one end. This will plug into your OBD, and like I said, it's right down here. It just pulls off pretty easy. If I can get my fingers in there. Hold on, I gotta use my right hand. So it just pops off. Just take this end and plug it in. That's it. And then this end, looks like old computer school type stuff. So what I'm going to do is try and do that with one hand as well. Sorry, I'm trying to stay in focus for you guys. So just plug this in. Yeah, it goes like this. And so immediately we get a screen here lit up. I'm going to try and get it close so you can see. There you go. So right now it's detecting. Any fault codes, it would come back and tell us. I will put a link I'll put in the description what it actually showed. I don't remember off the top of my head what the code was, but I'll put it there. But essentially what it was saying was that it was it's unable to establish communication. Probably because you want to don't. So basically I just turned on the ignition and trying to focus again. And the ignition is in the on position. So press that to relink, which is this. So I didn't have the vehicle in the on position. So mission, blah, 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 no powertrain, nothing is an issue. Now you can go through this, all these different pages. This is like erase. I don't remember everything off the top of my head. I think this is like main menu, the M. So you can run through all these tests, up and down, whatever. I'm trying to stay focused though. Bear with me. There we go. So we can just cycle through whatever we want to check. I think I'm just going through. So I think it was system tests where I was, and then Let's try OBD monitor. Yeah, this, I don't think this was it, but bear with me. Let's see if I can remember the, yeah, so I had like that error came up, Misfire cylinder 4 error came up. So I'm going to go back. I think this is back. I'm trying to stay in focus, guys. Sorry. I'm just checking sensors now. I'm just going to go hit M for main menu. This one, S, I remember now. It's like scan. Here we go, R. And I think I went to SRS. Is this your vehicle? Yes. And there's no presently stored. So essentially, this is scan. You can do a bunch of different scans. And it came up with the cylinder 4 misfire. And then it gave me a code. I'll put that code, like I said, in the description. Once I got the code, essentially what it told me was that, obviously it told me that it was cylinder 4. This thing had shown, like, when all that shaking was going on, there was an issue with the engine. Wouldn't tell you what it was. Gave you a bunch of different things, but not specific. So with the code, I narrowed it down to, like, fuel injection, which I was hoping that wasn't it, and also ignition coil. So I bought this. This is specific to my vehicle, and let me open it up and show you guys. It's just an ignition coil. This is exactly what it looks like, and it just sits down. I'll show you outside there. I can't show you the whole thing, but incidentally, this right here is how you get it off. There's a plug that plugs into here, and to get that plug out, you have to lift this all the way up, and as you lift it out, it pushes the plug out. So then it was on there pretty snug as well, so you have to, really pull on this thing to get it out. That's on purpose, obviously, so it doesn't just pop out. But I was afraid of maneuvering this too much because seems like flimsy plastic, and I'm not a BMW mechanic, and I've never done this before. But I just kept pulling, and as I kept pulling it, and once I straightened it all the way up, it allowed me to get the plug out. So don't be afraid to lift this all the way up like that. And then I might have used pliers or something to get a better grip on this to pull it out. I can't remember, but it was a little tough. But once I got it out, it was pretty easy. So I'm gonna try not to get my wife's vehicle dirty. And let's go to the engine. First thing I'm gonna do is just shut this off. I'm trying to shut it off. Thought that was off. Should be power. Let's go back to main menu, which is that. Now I'm holding. That's still running a test. Well, you can just unplug it as well. So I'm just going to make sure it's unscrewed here. And now I unplugged it, and now I should be able to just power it off. So you can see and now it's off. Just going to leave the keys here. And I'm going to unplug this. Down here is the hood. Just pop that. And I'm just trying to save you guys some time and money and frustration. Trying to get this with one hand. All right, so sounds like there's nuts or something in there. I don't know what's going on. So basically, that ignition coil was like right around here. Now you had to figure out what number 4 was. So there were 6 right here, because 6-cylinder, and I just had to guess. Okay, is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? And I just took a guess, and it ended up being this one here. So I think I went 1. You can see down here all these coils. Kind of, I wish I had a flashlight. I'm sorry. Anyway, just take this bolt off, that bolt off, and there's one right there, and there's another one there. I think there was only 4. I'm just looking. Yeah, there was only 4. It's just a piece of plastic. Lifts right off after. So just take those 4 bolts out. This lifts off. I did have to take the cap off just so that it will move over that. No big deal. And then all those ignition coils that I showed you were running right here. And I think I went, like I said, I counted front to back. I might have looked it up on YouTube or Googled it or something like that, but it went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because if there is 6, you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, which would be this one, or it's this one if you went this way. It turned out to be this one here, so it went front to back. Made sense, and it doesn't really matter anyway. Once I pulled it off the way I showed you, flip the thing all the way up, pull the wire out, and then pull that thing off, put the new one down on the same way, plug the thing back in, put the thing down, and you can leave this off, go for a ride, or run the test again. I did both, and I didn't have any more issues, so I knew I had the right one, and if I had any issues down the road, I could have just switched. It was either going to be this one or the one right here, based on which way you're going, counting. So I got the right one. We've had no problems since, and that was it. It was not fuel injection, anything like that. Just ignition coil and simple fix. That thing was like $24. Can only imagine how much it would have cost to bring this to BMW to have them fix it. Didn't disconnect any battery cables or anything like that. Yeah, I definitely didn't, because the battery is in the back in the trunk, and I just pulled it off. Had no issues. So basically that's it, guys. That should save you time, money, effort, looking stuff up. And like I said, that part, again, you definitely want to buy a Bosch part. It's made specific for BMW, and I showed you how that whole thing works anyway. And one last time, just looking at, it's a Zurich ZR13. This does pull up codes for BMW vehicles. Please rate, comment, subscribe. Please do subscribe, because I'm trying to build this channel up, and it takes me time figuring out all these projects, how to fix them, and making the videos for you guys. And if you do appreciate them, like I said, please subscribe and hit the bell so you get any new videos that I put out. But thanks again for watching, guys. Hope this helps. I do check all of my feedback very regularly, and like I said, if you have any other questions, please send me a message on YouTube. All right, thanks, guys.